Welcome everyone to MMB Radio, the online podcast hosted by yours truly, Mixmaster B, where there's no topics too big, too small. We talk to them all. And today, I'm really excited about this guy that's coming on right now. He's an artist, an up-and-coming hip-hop artist by the name of Casto. And if you are familiar with the Philadelphia area, if you live in the Philadelphia area, you might know of the radio station Wired 96.5, and you may have heard him on the overnights, on Sunday nights, Casto on the radio. But he doesn't just do the DJing. He's not just an on-air personality. He actually does music. So we're going to talk to him a little bit today, find out who is Casto, how did he get started, who is this man? Who is this guy that's bringing in all this new fire, all this new music? So we're going to talk to him today. But before we do, we got to thank our sponsor for today's podcast, Verizon Wireless. HTC One Remix. Conveniently compact, the HTC One Remix fits perfectly in your hand, pocket, or bag. Featuring a 4.5-inch HD display, 13-megapixel rear camera, and an all-metal body. Gift yourself this season with a free HTC One Remix. Plus, get 150 bill credit for every smartphone line you switch to Verizon Wireless. Free overnight shipping right at VerizonWireless.com with a new 2-year activation required. Bill credit applied within 2 to 3 cycles. And without any further ado, let's get right into it. On the phone lines right now, I have hip-hop artist, music, talent, Casto. What's up?
Yo, what up, man? How you doing?
Good, man, good. So I said hip-hop, music, talent, and I tell everybody it's going to be like, this is going to be your eHarmony profile. We're going to break it all down here. We're going to find out who Casto is.
Yeah, man.
So you're originally from Philadelphia? Are you from the Philadelphia area?
No, I'm actually originally from Brooklyn, New York. And my family and I moved to Philadelphia a couple of years back, mainly for my father. It was closer for him for work and things like that. And, just stayed out here. I ended up going to school out here. I go to Temple University right now. I'm a senior. I'll be graduating in May. So that's what pretty much brought me to Philly. That's how I got here, yeah.
And before anybody thinks that the only reason I have you on here is because you're a Temple dude, there's no bias whatsoever. Although, shout out to TU.
Nope, just hard work. Hard work got us here.
So, growing up in Brooklyn, wow, I mean, Brooklyn, it's like you think of Brooklyn, you think of hip-hop. And you think like New York, all the boroughs, you think of hip-hop and everything. So I'm assuming you had a huge influence just from the music scene there. But at what point in your life did you decide, like, this is what I want to do? I want to get into doing music, or have you always done it from a young age?
I had always actually done it from a young age. I would say probably around 11 or 12. I had been doing a lot of like writing poetry and things like that, so I had really gotten into in deep with that. And then probably around 13 is where I started to record myself, finally doing it. Because before that, it was just a lot of like writing, kind of freestyling with like my boys in like the hallways at school or things like that. So when I got to around 13, I had like begged and pleaded with my dad to buy me some like recording equipment. And so I finally got like this really cheap version of like a Pro Tools almost. And that's when I started to record myself, and that was probably around 13. So ever since then, I'm about to be 23 in May. For past like 10 years, I've just been recording, really kind of honing in my talent and perfecting the craft kind of thing, and really also studying hip hop. You know, like you said, I'm from Brooklyn, birthplace of Biggie, and that was a major influence on me growing up. So just listening to Biggie, listening to other artists like Eminem, Big Pun. Just perfecting the craft, being a student of hip-hop first and foremost,
Now, the music industry is so oversaturated. Everybody wants to be somebody. And, I mean, there's people out there who have the talent, you being one of those people who have a rare talent, and then other people who, not to crush people's dreams, but it's a cutthroat business.
For sure, yeah.
What do you do that stands out from everybody else? So when people listen to your music, they're not like, oh, heard this, before, just different name, different message.
Yeah. It's hard to say because, there are a lot of great underground artists out there and stuff like that. But I feel like what really defines me and makes me unique is that a lot of them sometimes are afraid to just be themselves when they're rapping, sometimes they feel like they got to put up a front. If it's, they're rapping, this is hip hop, you got to be the mean person and fulfill like, the hard thug stereotype kind of thing. Like I kind of went the different route. Like I really enjoy storytelling. I like telling my story. I like telling the stories of close personal friends. So like when I rap, I'm not from, like I never had to sell drugs. I never had to, join gangs or get affiliated in any of that growing up. I was fortunate enough not to have to do any of that. So like I feel like that makes me stand out almost enough in hip hop right now. So a lot of the things I talk about I really enjoy talking about social issues, things that I've witnessed, my friends go through, or sometimes I have gone through, had to go through. So I feel like that's what makes it unique is the ability to be yourself fully, like never put a front on, and just be able to tell the stories of the people that are out there that ultimately want their story to be heard and want their story to be told. So I feel like that's how I've been able to remain unique in hip hop right now, at least in the Philadelphia area, and hopefully I'll be able to, get a little more recognition and bring that to the forefront of hip hop further. There's a lot of artists now that are doing that, that are beginning to do it. You have like J. Cole or Drake and Kendrick and stuff like that, but like that's what I really appreciate, and that's what ultimately made me fall in love with hip hop, is just the fact that you can express yourself and be who you are without, having a front or put on some sort of front. I just never understood that, and I see a lot of people doing that nowadays, and it's just not me. And I feel like that's the perfect way to stand out, is just, be yourself. That's it. That's all it comes down to.
Well, maybe you kind of maybe just touched on it with that answer, but a lot of my friends and a lot of people that I know they're kind of turned off by a lot of the music that is being produced today, because they say a lot of it just kind of sounds the same. So they're going back to some of the older stuff, some of the stuff that they listened to 15, years ago, and are re-listening to the older stuff. But what do you think right now in hip hop, in music, is holding people back from being those new stars like the next Jay-Z's? I mean, you touched a couple names of some, people that are kind of big right now, but like, what is it that's stopping people from being like the next big mega superstar?
It's hard to say. I would, I feel like it's probably the ambition and the drive to just get money more, and so therefore they feel like they need to create just a hit, and that's it. They don't really care about making something that's special, that's unique, that people can relate to, and really like a timeless classic kind of thing, like something that we talk about Jay-Z nowadays. Like Jay-Z has hits that were timeless classics because they relate to so many people, and he did it in such a descriptive way that's what made it a classic. But I feel like nowadays it's like once the money gets involved, it's like that's where they almost want to just create something that's going to bang in the club real quick. And then if they fade out after that, it's like, so be it. They made their money though. So I feel like that's what's really holding back a lot of people from being the next Jay-Z or being, the next Nas and things like that. It's just like they're after the money too much. And for me, like, especially like, I didn't come from a lot of money or anything like that. So, if I never made a dime in this, like, it's fine with me as long as I changed somebody's life. If I made some song that made someone, relate to it, or if I told their story in some way, that's what I feel like is dope. And that's what I go after. It's not so much the money, but I feel like once the money comes in with record labels or, any type of publishing stuff like that, that's why I feel like a lot of people fall through the cracks, because they end up just chasing the dollars, instead of actually, focusing on the audience and what they want to hear and the stories they want told, and, and just opening up to them about your own stories, That's what I feel like is really, kind of dragging the game down a little bit.
What is your favorite song of all time, whether it be hip hop or non-hip hop?
Damn, favorite song of all time. I'm gonna be real. I'm sure a lot of people probably say it, and it's like almost like a generic hip hop song, but like "Juicy" by Biggie. That has to be like my favorite song, classic in hip hop, because I mean that was just like, he incorporated the storytelling, he incorporated the witty little metaphors and things like that, and I feel like that was like the epitome for me, especially growing up, like being from Brooklyn. Like when I heard Juicy, and then when that played at his funeral, down the procession down the streets and like Flatbush and all that, like, I mean, nothing gets better than that. I feel like Juicy was it.
Now you also do some like production work, right? Do you do your own
Yes, sir.
beats? All right, now
Yeah, man.
how'd you get into doing that? I mean, it's just like you just took it to a whole nother level. Like you're recording and you're like, you know what? I'm not gonna pay for beats. I'm not gonna be solicited for beats on Twitter and Instagram and whatnot. I'm just gonna do my
Yeah.
own thing.
It was a little bit of that. It was a lot of. I felt like I didn't want to have to rely on anybody to make beats. You know, like I felt like if I learned how to make beats on my own, I'd be able to get a lot further because I wouldn't, be relying. I can rap and that's all cool, but like nobody wants to hear somebody rapping a cappella all the time. You know, you have to have the beat behind you. And if I didn't have any beats because I didn't have the money to pay for them or I didn't know anybody that can make beats, like what am I going to be doing? You know, so that's where it kind of started from. And once I started making my own beats is where I really realized like, damn, I like doing this shit too. Like, sorry if I for cursing, but I really like doing that stuff too. And like so that's what really started making me do the production aspect of everything. I didn't have the money to pay for beats. I didn't want to rely on anybody else making the beats, and I also wanted to have full creative control. You know, like I wanted to be able to make something from scratch that I can call my own. You know, without anybody else taking credit for it. Like everything I do is by myself, production wise, and all that. And then I actually linked up in my first year of college when I went to college in City College in New York, in Harlem. I linked up with my boy Tone. His name is Tony Takovic. But he goes by Tone Light, and he's a nasty producer from Queens. And we linked up, and he actually ended up producing a lot of the stuff for me also. So now it's kind of like a group effort between me and him. And yeah, he's nasty. He produced a couple of joints on my Angels and Demons mixtape as well as my Comeback Story mixtape. So he definitely shout out to him. He's amazing producer.
We're talking to Philly artist by way of Brooklyn, Casto on
Yeah.
MMB radio right now. Long-term and short-term goals. Don't matter which one you pick first, if it's a long-term first or a short-term, like where do you want to see yourself?
Yeah. Well, I mean, short-term, right now I'm working at Wire 96.5 in Philadelphia. It's a pretty big radio station out here, and I do Friday nights 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. and then Sunday nights from 7 to 11. So, short term, I just want to keep on working on that, keep on pushing that as much as I can, getting people to tune in and all that. And then in regards to my music, though, it's just I really want to start performing in as many places as I can. I want to just reach the masses. So I feel like I'm trying to find a manager right now and get some publicist stuff going and things like that. So hopefully that'll be able to get me out there even further, performing at various venues around Philly and stuff like that. In regards to long term, damn, man, just live the dream. Like I really hopefully sign to a label one day, be able to get something that can really like get me some national, international attention, and get the masses listening. And hopefully, what I really want out of all of this is just to be heard. Like I just want my voice to be heard, and I want to be able to tell the stories of so many people that I know and that I grew up with, and let everybody know that we're here, like especially at a time that we are now in America, with everything going on with Ferguson, with the New York situation, it's just like we need to be heard right now. So I feel like if I can do anything in the long term to make our voices heard all together, that'll be a blessing right there, And of course, like there's that little thing inside me that wants the fame and wants everybody to recognize me and be like, oh, like and recognize me not so much physically but just as like a musician, like to be respected in music. And that always drives me to continue making the music that I do, like to be that Nas or be the Jay-Z or whatever. Everybody's just like, there's so much respect for them, like, and that definitely drives me also. But I feel like first and foremost it's about the people, so I really want my music to represent and reflect who I am, who I grew up with, where I come from, in general. And I feel like long term, that's what I want,
And one of the things I always say, if people ask me for advice, being a DJ, they're like, like how can I make it in the game? How can I be successful?
Yeah.
And I tell people it's like you really just need exposure. So
absolutely.
like you said, just getting heard is a huge step in the right direction. And
absolutely,
everybody does social media, and I know you have like a SoundCloud. So I'm going to let you go ahead and promote all of the networks where people can find you: Tumblr, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, MySpace. I don't know if you have a AOL chat or something, like whatever you got, whatever you need to promote. Let everybody know where they can find you at online.
Absolutely. Well, the main hub is www.castomusic.com, Casto music.com. You can hit me up on Twitter at Casto Official, Casto Official. Same for Instagram. And my SoundCloud is soundcloud.com/Casto Music. So all of the music is up there. You can go download the 2 mixtapes I have, any singles that I have. The new single out right now is Riot. So if you want to go and download that, check that out. Share with everybody you know. That's a new wave. Yeah, man.
All right, so we talked about Riot and explain it a little bit. Like we jumped it off a couple weeks back on mixmasterb.com, but kind of take us through the journey of Riot, what it's all about.
Riot, man, it was a fun track to make because it's more when you hear it kind of has that like trap influence kind of thing, that like dirty South trap kind of thing, and so that's where I kind of went in the direction with that. And as far as the lyrics go, it was just kind of like, I really wanted to kind of flex a little bit, you know, like, because I love storytelling. I love, you know, giving the people that. But then every now and then you got to snap a little bit too. So, like, that's kind of where I feel like my one single, Come and Get It, came from. And then Riot also came from there. Is that kind of urge to just snap on a track real quick, you know, like just give the people something that they can just bump to in the car. So that's kind of what Riot is. And same with my last single, Come and Get It. It's kind of those ones that you just bump in the car with your boys and just ride around town and shit, you know.
So we're talking to Casto, and you said that you work over at Wired 96.5. So this should be easy to you. I'm going to let you introduce your track, and we're going to let you everybody listen to Riot, and we're going to let you go out on that note there. So I'm going to let you have your little TRL moment here. You're going to go ahead and introduce your song, do your best Carson Daly. So go ahead and introduce your song.
Yeah, man. Yo, this is Casto. You are listening to my homie Mixmaster B right here on MMB Radio. And we're about to get into my new joint right here. It's called Riot. Turn your radios up.
All right, make sure you follow him on Instagram, Twitter. Check him out at Wired 96.5, Friday and Sundays.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now wait till the thing drop. She dip it down low, come back with a pop now. Now wait till the bass drop. I put it in slow, then I take it from the top. Non-stop shit on replay. Press play when the tape gets a poppin' like an AK. Words getting slurred, ain't thanks to the Remain Martin. Got a smart thing, brain is the same when she give it to me in the car. Swerving in the lane, leaving marks on the tar. Take it for a trip, then I drop her back off. That baby should've known I'm a motherfucking boss. Niggas trippin'. The fuck y'all sippin'? Don't take much to put this nigga on a mission. Niggas slippin'. The fuck y'all thinking? Them these smoke clouds be blurring my vision. Didn't even notice I was talking to some bitches. Pussy ass niggas couldn't handle these conditions. They be slipping on me purple pills and the provisions. Wanna be the best nigga, just wishful thinking. Now I'm out for blood, cause I'm out the cut. Not giving a fuck about who or what. I do it myself, no time for luck. The time is now, about to run amok. Yeah, give me my crown. I'ma burn it all down. This shit like a riot, and I ain't keep it quiet. Sound the alarm, I ain't keeping calm. Put the pedal to the floor if you really want some more. If you ready, let's go now. I got my swagger back. Swagger back. I guess I got my swagger back. Swagger back. This nigga can't get mad at that. Mad at that. This shit like a riot. I guess I got my swagger back. Swagger back. I guess I got my swagger back. Swagger back. This nigga can't get mad at that. Mad at that. I guess I got my swagger back. Bring it down. Way too many people I don't know now. Who the fuck are you? I really shouldn't never be around these clowns, not even when I'm out of town. So when the bass hit the ground, let the sirens sound. Mariano of this rap shit, let me take them out. Fuck these niggas up, I go round for round now. Wanna talk loud, hear what you say, wanna know what I'm about. Are they talking shit, now they don't make it sound funny how they not around when the shit go down. Not even a peep when they see me on the street, claiming that they coming with a fleet. Been around Hell's Kitchen long enough, I can take the heat. Let the show begin, bitch nigga, take a seat. Let me calm my nerves. Enjoy these beautiful girls with some beautiful curves. Bunch of model chicks on their runway swerve with a couple of words. Light one up and we let it burn. Getting high for the night. Turn the music up, getting loud for the night. Too on in the crib, almost missed my flight. Mr. fucking man of the year, nigga, get it right. Yeah, give me my crown. I'ma burn it all down. This shit like a riot, and I ain't keep it quiet. Sound the alarm, I ain't keep it calm. Put the pedal to the floor if you really want some more. If you ready, let's go now. I got my swagger back.